Welcome back to more adventures with members of the Florida Powerboat Club here on our YouTube channel. Stu Jones, along with producer Ryan McCoy, here in the Pompano Beach studio. And we've been on a bit of a break from production because we've been busy with events. We just completed the Key West Offshore Poker Run, and back to the studio where we will now resume feature coverage of our 2023 season with the 4th annual Orange Beach Powerboat Week from Orange Beach, Alabama, presented by the Wharf. And this is the only event on the 2023 roster that crosses state lines into Alabama. 4th time we've done it now, but we had an exciting turnout with over 50 registered teams. So before we get started, let's thank our sponsors. Our presenting sponsor for the FPC 2023 series of events is Mercury Racing, celebrating 50 years of wide open. And by these sponsors in alphabetical order: Big Thunder Marine, Blackwater Boats, Cigarette Racing Team, Concept Boats, Deep Impact Custom Boats, Doug Wright Powerboats, Fountain Powerboats, Midnight Express Boats, Nortec High Performance Boats, Performance Boat Center, Plantation Boat Mart, SD Marine Group Isla Morada, and Statement Marine. In addition to those series sponsors, we'd like to thank once again our presenting sponsor, the Wharf of Orange Beach, Alabama, along with Comp, the Tops Texas Powerboat Club, Romix Chemicals, Unitech Paint and Auto Body, and Wozencraft Insurance and Finance. And kicking things off here in Orange Beach at what they call the Orange Beach Boat Ramp. It's at the end of Marina Road. This is the one that we're all very familiar of, but we've got a lot of other ramp opportunities, including Cotton Bayou, just about a mile away. And the newest boat ramp called the Launch, which is right over the bridge from the Wharf, which was very convenient for all of us. So overall, I think everyone agreed that there were plenty of staging opportunities to get the boats into town, which makes this a very popular drive-to poker run. And we're going to do a ride-along today with Clint Hayes from Tennessee on this 42-foot fountain, Kiss the Paper. And they just got the boat in the water. Looks like they're joined by Stephen Doomer in his 38 cigarette Top Gun. He just came in through the pass because he came here on his own bottom from Gulfport, Mississippi, about an hour away. And we're going to do a quick ride along here to get over to the Wharf from the boat ramp. It's actually about 10 or 11 miles by way of Intracoastal Waterway, all protected waterways. And here we are now, arriving at the Wharf with some other boats. That looks like Vince Otto with this 38-foot cigarette Top Gun, one of the many teams who've come in to join us from Texas. And a nice-looking engine compartment, Team Licolanopus from Texas. Of course, Mark Albert's pride and joy, along with this one, Lana, his wife. Nice to see this group here again joining us for our annual Orange Beach event. And kicking off our informal entertainment agenda Thursday evening now here at the Sandshaker Bar, where we must, of course, do the task of appointing Miss Orange Beach Powerboat Week. And, of course, the lady who's in charge of all that is Amber Content, who's going to be our model coordinator and our MC for the night. And there's all the ladies getting ready to come out and put on a great entertainment agenda for all of our arriving members, most of whom are already in town now. The Sandshakers right here at the Wharf. It's the first time we've used this new venue, and I thought it was really just a great spot because they had their own stage, and it was a very cozy, intimate venue, and we had all our judges right up front as lovely Miss Jasmine walks out, our very first contestant, doing the round one cocktail dress, something that I've always enjoyed. And once again, thanks to Amber Content for putting together a great format for this contest every year. And we are blessed with a lot of newcomers tonight's format as well, but of course, a lot of familiar faces because, as always, we like to recruit at least 5 or 6 FPC girls to stick with us for the entire weekend to become our poker card dealers from the Dockside locations, as well as being greeters and hostesses at all of our FPC parties and functions. So let's just sit back and say hi to everybody and enjoy the show. And of course, I'd like to thank our sponsors of the Miss Powerboat Week contest. That would be Paul Bertucci from Team Beer Money and Chad Havens from Team Savage. Well, that was a great start to our Miss Orange Beach Powerboat Week contest. And as always, guys, we're going to continue to have features of this contest throughout our next series of episodes. And you know that every time we come back, it's going to be less clothing and bikini. That's right, black bikini for the next round in our next show. So thanks, girls. We'll see you in the next episode. Meanwhile, let's continue on day 2 and our Friday poker run activities. Miss Jackie kicking things off here with her apparel table and souvenir merchandise. And there's those ladies I promised that we'd see a lot of throughout the weekend, backed by popular demand. Of course, I think we've got Lauren, Kayla, and Sage on duty today helping out our club members. And Stephen Doomer proudly showing off to Lauren that his cigarette was on the shirt a year earlier. And of course, before the run, we'd like to start off with our mandatory captain's meeting. And the new venue for this was mile marker 158 Dockside, which is really an ideal location because they served us breakfast in a casual setting, about 50 steps from the lobby of the hotel. And we want to thank our sponsor, Unitic Paint and Auto Body. Octavio stepped up to the plate, and we had a wonderful, informative captain's meeting to go over the entire course details for the Friday run, which was going to be eastbound towards Pensacola Beach. And this was not a new format. We established this format a couple of years earlier, and that is for captain and first mate or one other person to be able to join us. So we do have limited space for these functions, but we will continue this practice for 2024. So if you're interested in sponsoring a captain's meeting, we'll have plenty of opportunities to do so. And we have got our Dockside team today. Jasmine, Jaylyn, and Kayla are going to be handing off the poker cards from right here at the docks at the Wharf, just a few steps away from where we had our captain's safety meeting earlier. First team up, one of our local teams. This is Ricardo Chavez and his crew on this 34-foot fountain center console, and it's a new addition to his fleet. He's still going to be participating with his other 34 fountain as a safety boat today. And next up is Keith Johnson from Louisiana with his 42-foot Outer Limits team, Whiskey Business. I made a comment to him that he didn't have his Bimini top up today. There you go. Hey, lucky card, lucky card. All right, we're good now. And it looks like it's Jaylyn's turn to hand off the poker card. Let's see who comes up for the next stop. It's indeed Gary Luckel came all the way from Palm Beach County to join us with his first mate, Michelle. And she already got her card Dockside earlier, so that was a fake handoff. Good job, everybody. And here's a team that is a long way from home. Frank Bolte, he's all the way from France, joining us again. He's been here at least 3 of the 4 years at Orange Beach with this 44-foot MTI Team Shark Rider. And let's welcome Cliff and Melissa Anderson in this 34-foot MTI Team Air Sign. As Melissa gets the card, they're also joined by their parents, who are attending with their 39-foot Nortec. Okay. And a closer dockside look here at Stephen Doomer and his team in a loose cannon 38-foot cigarette as the lovely Miss Amber reaches down to make sure he doesn't get any dock rash here. And let's welcome back another team from Texas, Ryan and the Miss Rachel Garnett up on front getting the card. This is Into the Mystic. It's a 2019 Mystic C3800 Cat with twin Mercury Racing 400Rs. And they have got a stellar attendance record going right now. This is their 4th run in about 6 months with FPC. Next up is Team Awesome One, this 44-foot concept owned by Octavio and Karen Valdivia. from Georgia, but it looks like they're not even on the boat because that's Robbie Eula driving today. But yeah, it looks like this is the ladies' boat. Indeed it is. Octavio also has his outer limits registered for the day. So nice to see this team back. They have a home here in Pensacola, just down the waterway, and they've got a bunch of people visiting them for this big weekend. And there she is. That is the 51-foot outer limits, Blue Bayou. And there's Octavio at the helm along with his first mate Karen riding alongside. And other than that, it looks like it's the rest of the boat is he's got all the dudes on the boat today. Oh, you're lucky you, Karen. You got all the guys with you. This is a 777-700 boat, and she rumbles. And it's another team from Texas, back with Mark and Lana Albert in their 35-foot fountain. We had a glimpse of the engine room earlier. Mercury Racing 525s with some modifications. So it's got Whipple superchargers giving her just a nice little boost. And next up is Sean Porter and his first mate Michelle, team Going Deep. It's a 33-foot deep impact, which has just recently received a complete makeover. And I want to compliment Sean on doing a fantastic job. This boat looks like it's brand new. And here comes that 42 fountain again. Clint Hayes, his first mate Haley up on the bow, getting the poker card. A 42 fountain staggered setup with a pair of 500 EFIs. A great looking boat, you know, for 2006. That's a 17-year-old hull and super clean looking and very well maintained. And my compliments to the videographer for getting that cool shot of Jasmine and Kaylin. Oh, I was a videographer? Oh, you're welcome, guys. Chris and Beth Giroux pulling up to the dock in their 38-foot fountain. She's got some power, pair of 700s, and today I think is a good day to shake and bake. Well, guys, we do have a few more boats dockside getting cards, but we're going to mix it up a little because I know we want to get up in the air and give you guys some nice bird's eye view shots as we fly over top of Orange Beach, Alabama. You can see that this is a waterborne playground with water all throughout Orange Beach, Alabama, and of course that is the Perdido Pass, getting us out into the Gulf of Mexico. So today we're going to do about 10 or 12 miles on these protected waters and head over towards the pass, where we're going to start doing yet another poker card. You can see that it's just a beautiful day, a little bit of overhead cloud, but really mild temperatures and not a lot of traffic out on the waterways yet on this Friday morning. Remember, doing these runs on Friday means that you really do have the waterways almost to yourself because, you know, the local boaters don't really get out and play until Saturday and Sunday. Milling around now here, you can see off in the distance, that's the home of Mr. Art Favre, who is obviously our sponsor and host for the weekend, owner of the Wharf. We've always made this a traditional card pickup, so let's call it card number 2 before we head offshore and out towards Pensacola Beach. But we're going to skip on that card for now. We're going to get the card, but we're going to bring this back to you in a future segment. I think the reason really is that we want to get out offshore and give you guys some high-speed thrills as we hit the waterways for the first offshore leg of the run. Most of the boats have now gone out through the Perdido Pass, and it's an eastbound heading, running mostly about a mile offshore towards the Pensacola Pass. I believe it's about an 18-mile stretch. Kicking things off now with Frank Bolte and Team Shark Rider, the 44-foot MTI. Sean Evans at the helm with him. Got some big power in this boat. They're Mercury Racing 1350s, but they've been modified by Casse Performance, and they're telling me that these engines are running upwards of 1,800 horsepower aside. I don't think they're going to be using that horsepower today. You can see how rough it is as the helicopter pulls wide. You can see that swell. And now we're joining Gary Lickle from Palm Beach County, his first mate Michelle, their first time here at the Orange Beach event with Team Special Ops, 39-foot MTI, Twin Mercury Racing 450Rs as he really gets some air running up on top of it in this cat. Gary's been around the boating scene for a very long time, and he knows how to handle a boat. And now it's Ryan and Rachel Garnett from Texas in their Mystic C3800 Mercury Racing 400Rs. They seem like they're just comfortable at this pace, not making tremendous speed, but not really necessary at this point. You just want to manage these swells and make sure that your crew is comfortable. You can see they've got a boatload of guests on board today, so don't want to scare the ladies by pushing those throttles. I know that Ryan probably wants to go a little faster, but comfort and safety are a top priority. And now it's Cliff Anderson in this 34-foot MTI, now so far the smallest cat out on the run offshore here. Once again, looking wide, you can see these swells. No white caps or anything, but just a consistent swell, and it is a bit of a beam sea, so it can be a little sloppy. No need to push the throttles too hard. Just get into your groove, manage the swells. You've got 18 miles to go, and once you get in, dialed in, it's time to just hang on for the ride. And there you go. It's our first V-bottom in this segment offshore now as we join Mike and Melissa Muse in Team Amused. This is a 37-foot Axopar cross cabin model. We're starting to see a lot more of these. Pretty standard power package with Mercury 350 Verados. That's how it comes, guys. You can't order this boat with bigger power, at least not as of yet. But nonetheless, we're starting to see a few of them in the club, and they say they love the boat. And they've owned everything from a 23 Rinker all the way up to a 48 Fountain. But they feel like this 37 has really been the best overall boat for them in quite some time. And now one more time with Team Loose Cannon, Stephen Doomer. And a comment he made in his video bio was really a lot to do with this sea condition. You can see he's just crushing these waves in his 38-foot Top Gun. He said it was really a nerve-wracking but thrilling ride because he's never really taken the boat out in these kind of conditions, but he said that he wanted to congratulate all the other teams that lived up to the challenge and stayed out here offshore before the ride to Pensacola Pass. And looks like we're catching up with Keith Rockman now, one of our Florida attendees. We met Keith and his group on the Emerald Coast Poker Run many times, but it looks like Keith has stepped up his game now on a 42-foot MTI, quad Mercury 350 Verados. And when I say stepping up, his last boat was a 34-foot Sensation CCX. So, you know, adding, going from 34 to 42 feet and adding another couple of feet of beam. But he's got the boat dialed in nicely, and I'm sure he's appreciating his new MTI right about now. And now it's a 42-foot Outer Limits Keith Johnston in Team Whiskey Business. He's been using this boat now for at least 2 or 3 of these Orange Beach events now, and I did joke with him earlier that the previous year he had his canvas top up, but it doesn't seem to need it today because it's kind of overcast, not a lot of sun out, but certainly a lot of waves. This 2006 42 Outer Limits Legacy handling the waves nicely. Triple Mercury Racing 525s giving him the power to push through this swell. And in his video bio, when asked what his favorite thing about powerboating is, well, he's a man of few words. He says he loves the waves and the speed. Well, you came to the right place, Keith. You're getting a little bit of both today. And a lot of similarities in this 46-foot Rough Rider Team Rum Runner to that 38 Top Gun we saw earlier. This is Daryl Turner from Texas in this 46, which is powered by Mercury Racing 1075s, a boat that is a one-off, very unique boat that Cigarette built back in 2004. It was on the cover of our magazine. We photographed the boat on the Key West Poker Run, and this 46 is just a wave-crushing machine. You can see how they're just skimming through these waves and just eating up these swells. And we're going to mix it up a little bit, guys. Getting back to the docks here at the Wharf, getting a little quality time with Jasmine, who's reaching out with the card pull. And that was Jalen and Kayla on the dock today. Kenny Milstead from Texas and his 38-foot Statement. Team Easy Money pulling up for their poker card. They got a full boat today. And once again, these center consoles mean you don't have to leave anybody at home. If you got 6, 7, or 8 friends, well, you got plenty of room on this big Statement center console. Triple Mercury Racing $400, and what a beautiful paint job. And here's John and Connie Fahmy pulling up in their 34-foot Sensation CCX. And we used to say that they were out-of-towners from Georgia, but we can call them locals now. They love the boating so much in this area, they decided to buy a home in Mary Esther, which is just up the Intracoastal, about 50 miles further to the east. And you got to love the graphics on these Sensation center consoles. No two of them are alike. They all look fantastic. Most of the designs painted by Mitcher T. And coincidentally, once again now with Keith Rockman and his crew on this 42-foot MTI, what's the coincidence? Well, that last boat you saw, the 34 CCX, was very similar to the boat that Keith and his crew had on a lot of poker runs over the last few years. He stepped his game up to this 42-foot MTI, and I know he's got to be loving it. It's a big, stout 12-foot beam, a heavier layup, and a great boat for these offshore poker runs when you get into the rough stuff. And it's another one of our many teams from Texas. Vince Otto is going to make this a family weekend for the poker run on his 38-foot cigarette Top Gun. He is a past president of the Tops Powerboat Club from Texas, and nice to have him and the group back again. And our lovely FPC girls making it fun on the dock as now Lisa Fowler picks up the family card now. Son Kyle at the helm of this new Wright Performance 420 Cat. Well, new to them anyway. A big change for their boating lifestyle. They've had two V-bottoms in the past, a Fountain Performance boat and a Fountain 38 center console. And just a reminder why I love my job. I get to hang out with the FPC girls down here on the dock as we get another team pulling up to the dock. This time again, Daryl Turner and his crew on this 46-foot cigarette Rough Rider called Team Rum Runner. It was a concept boat built back in 2004, and she looks as good today as she did way back then, almost 20 years ago. Daryl Turner at the helm, all the way from Texas, and listen to these 1075s roar. And it's another team from Texas. This time it's Lloyd Thornton and his 36-foot concept, Team Pachanga. Nice to see this 36 concept here all the way from Texas. And take a look, not the conventional power we see with these Mercury Verados. He's got some 250 Mercury XS outboards and a very well-maintained boat. Nice to see Lloyd and his crew here. And of course, yet another team from Texas. But it is the first time we've seen a 37-foot Axopar here on the Orange Beach event. This is Mike and Melissa Muse all the way from Houston, Texas. They say they really are loving this Axopar center console. It's got a pair of Mercury 350 Verados. They've got a very spirited team on board today, and that just might win them an award on Saturday night. And it was great to see Charles and Jody Clark back all the way from Texas again in Team We Be Trippin'. And they don't mean that in a drug kind of a way, because they're just having fun. This is a 2016 Deep Impact 36 Open Triple Verado 350s. A great boat for bringing all your friends, and you can see, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8 on board, and that's how you enjoy your center console. Oh, 9 maybe. They said in their video bio that they really love the Orange Beach event, especially the new style buffet dining that we did on Saturday night. Well, I couldn't agree more. It really worked out fantastic. And it's one more time now with Jim Legere. And when I say one more time, well, he's back again. He joined us a year earlier. It's a 50-foot Outer Limits team, Heart On. And if you wonder where that team name came from, well, if you look down on the deck of the boat, it's got a giant King of Hearts on it, smeared across the top. And it's a very unique design, because I remember this boat being on the Key West Poker Run and on several runs in earlier years with different owners. But I know that James is absolutely loving the boat. It's got a pair of Merc 1200s. And our last card today goes to Wes Harlow, one of our local teams in this 35-foot DCB with 700s, and he is ready to rumble. And back with the Offshore group heading up these Gulf Coast waters. A little bumpy out here today as we catch up with Stephen Rabelais from Louisiana in this 40-foot Sensation CCX Triple Mercury Racing 450Rs. And we've seen this boat before. It used to be owned by Scott Favre, who obviously is one of our hosting organizers. Scott helped us bring this event to Orange Beach along with his father, Art. Glad to see that this boat found a new owner, and I know that Stephen Rabelais is absolutely loving his 40-foot CCX. And now we're catching up with Sean Porter on this 33-foot Deep Impact. And I want to begin by reminding everybody that more than half of the fleet turned around in these Gulf Coast waters and went right back in through the inlet so they could take the calm Intracoastal all the way to Pensacola Beach. But, you know, Sean and his group, they came out here and they said, you know what? We got a Deep Impact. We're raring to go. Let's just giddy up and go. And that's exactly what they did. New graphics, new decking, and new power, and I think that this 33 Deep Impact refit turned out fantastic. And they are having one hell of a ride here in these Gulf Coast waters today. Well, that last boat we saw was a 33-foot boat. This is a 30-foot cat. Probably the lightest layup boat here, this 30 skater. Devin Wozencraft, who we all know from Wozencraft Insurance, who spends a lot of his time cruising around the country and going on as many poker runs as he can. I remember when the 300R was launched, Devin was one of the first guys to get a set of these, and he seems to be doing great. These Mercury Racing 300Rs are ideal for this kind of a cat, and one of the reasons that you're seeing more people out cruising on these lightweight performance cats. They get good fuel economy, but they're also very fast and fun to ride. And we're now catching up with Ken Milstead and his crew on this 38-foot Statement. We saw them dockside earlier getting their poker card. Team Easy Money just chugging away through this rough surf. I'm not sure if they knew what they were getting into, but, well, you know, Kenny says, well, once I got out there, Stu, there wasn't any point in turning around, so here we are. But like every good captain, Ken is making sure that his crew is safe and comfortable. And it's one of our local teams, Ricardo Chavez. He's been here every year since we started this event. And he had a 34 fountain center console when he started running this poker run, but now he's got two of them. And the other boat is helping us with safety support. And I believe he acquired this boat through the local dealer Grander Marine. And I know we're going to see a lot more of these fountain center consoles on these runs, especially now with Fountain as a major sponsor of the Florida Powerboat Club. Once again, thanks to Ricardo for helping us out with the Orange Beach Powerboat Week safety program. And now we're catching up with Roger and Pam Anderson, another team all the way from Texas. Wild Horses is a Nortec 390 Sport. Quad Mercury Racing 450Rs. Guys, it doesn't get much better than that. They've got the twin row seating, and they have got this boat dialed in for this rough chop. And it's certainly not their first rodeo. They've done a lot of poker runs with the club. In fact, they're probably one of the most active couples attending more poker runs every year than anyone I can remember in recent years. So congratulations to them on their stellar attendance record. Now we're catching up with Clint Hayes and his crew on this 42-foot fountain. They came all the way from Tennessee to join us. Team Kiss the Paper. And it was interesting to read in his video bio that he always had the dream of running a big V-bottom along the beach. And he said he doesn't get many chances to pass the outboard cats during FPC events, but this time with the big waves, he actually did get a chance, a rare opportunity to pass a couple of those cats. Clint says this is a 2000 model year fountain. It's mostly original and remains in great shape. People are always surprised to hear that it's a 23-year-old boat. And it's another skater. This time it's a 32 stern drive skater. Team Maverick is Jeff and Lisa Trimble from Texas. We've seen them here on this run before, but never really gave them a chance to put on a show like they're about to, because they got the boat running along the top nicely, and they got some good air. I remember seeing some incredible photos we got from the helicopter that were published on Speed on the Water. So these guys are really dialed in and having a nice ride today. Oh, they got some good air there. Let's roll that again, Ryan. Whoa! And it's one more time with Keith Rockman and his crew on this 42-foot MTI. Not very far from home at all. They live right along here on the Florida Panhandle, and we often see them at the Emerald Coast Poker Run as well. But nice to see the gang coming over to join us here at the Orange Beach event. And it looks like the seas are starting to calm down just a little bit. I do believe we're getting close to the Pensacola Inlet, so we'll be back in the protected waters shortly. And it's one more time with Mike and Melissa Muse and this 37-foot Axopar team Amused. Got the bunny pad in full function here right now. I don't know who that's on the back, but it looks like she is really enjoying the ride today. Even if it's a little bumpy out here, she's like, nope, I'm going to lay on the back here and get a little sun. There's something about this Axopar that's really growing on me. You've got the comfort of that enclosed cockpit with air conditioning, and of course, a lot of places just to lay out and enjoy the outdoors. And now we can really see how nice the conditions are as we catch up with Daryl Turner one more time on Team Run Runner. Paint and graphics on this 46-footer by The Art of Design, Dean Lautz. And guys, I can't think of a better way to end this episode than with a classic cigarette. So thanks to Daryl Turner and his crew for joining us on this event. And we've got plenty more of Orange Beach down the pipeline. 3 more episodes to go, guys, as we feature the 2023 edition. That's the 4th annual Orange Beach Powerboat Week, presented by the Wharf right here in Orange Beach, Alabama. So, guys, you don't want to miss another episode here of Powerboating in Paradise with members of the Florida Powerboat Club. And you know what to do, guys. You got to pound that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you'll get an update every time a new episode is released. Be sure to check out the website at flpowerboat.com for all of the details about upcoming poker run events in 2021, as well as membership information. You can follow us on Facebook at Florida Powerboat Club, and you can follow us on Twitter and on these Instagram pages. Thanks to all of our viewers for your wonderful comments on our page, and you guys know who you are, and I really do appreciate that. But if you have questions or comments you want to direct to me specifically, please use my personal email at stu@flpowerboat.com. I check that daily, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We're going to sign off for now. This is Stu Jones, along with our producer Ryan McCoy, in the Pompano Beach studio. Have fun out there, guys. Be safe on the waterways. Wear your life jackets when the time is right, and always respect your fellow boaters. Bye for now.